Good morning, everybody. It is October 27th, 8:35 a.m. Welcome, who's ever watching. Um, let's go into my watch list here. See what's going on here. All right, crude broke out of balance. I wanted to put a straddle on that yesterday, and I didn't do it. I'm a little disappointed in that, but and I had a long. I wanted to go in futures, and I hesitated, and it exploded. But that's my problem. Um, so crude is up 0.86%. The Dow is up almost a percent. Okay. Dollar is up 0.54. Russell's up 0.52. Okay. TNX, the 10-year, is up 0.52. Um, let's look at the VIX. The VIX is up 0.37. The ES is up 0.26. Okay. And the NASDAQ is down 0.22%. All right. Bitcoin is down 0.55%. All right, let's look into leaders and laggards of some stocks that are pretty popular. Okay. Nvidia is up 4.86%. AMD up 2.68. Now, the reason for that is Meta, okay, talked about their CapEx and their investment into AI is going to like exceed something 30 something billion dollars or 31 billion dollars, and a lot of that is going to be using chips, Nvidia and stuff like that, semiconductors. So that's a huge investment into semiconductors for the future for Meta. That's why their semiconductors are higher. Okay. So we got the semis, we got Boeing, we got Tesla. Laggards, we have Amazon, Baba, and the huge one is Meta with the poor earnings yesterday. Down 22.94% pre-market. That is monster. Okay. Now what we have in some of the top sector stocks is we have Cat. Cat had good earnings. They beat on earnings, so they're up 4.59%. Um, obviously, the Chevron is up. Twitter is up 1.05. Laggards, and this isn't. There's not too many laggards. Okay, Qualcomm, I wouldn't call that a laggard of 0.09, so I'm not going to really go into that. Okay, and let's look at the sectors. So energy is the leader, followed by industrials. That's Cat. Followed by financials. Okay, laggard, no surprise here, is communications, which is Meta. Okay, so that's the lay of land. Okay, one thing that did come out as well is GDP just got a positive number, better than expectations, made the market rise a little bit. I don't know how sustainable that is. Okay, but that's when we got a little pop in the market. Okay, that came out at 8:30. So let's get into what happened yesterday. Look at the daily chart and SPY. All right, so obviously we opened here, went all the way, okay, past the 50-day moving average, and closing on the 100-day moving average. And we found resistance where probably really where we expected it at this line. Okay, didn't quite get there, but there's heavy resistance here. Okay, that's what happened in the SPY. All right, let's look at the Qs. Okay, now I'm going to go into this a little more in detail in the futures, but you can see in the Qs we couldn't break this resistance level. We couldn't do it. We came all the way, we were very weak, shot all the way up, found resistance, and then fell apart. Okay. Now Meta is not helping that. All right. Aftermarket. Meta is not helping that. Okay. So we found resistance at a level I thought we either were gonna break it or not, right? Okay, it's that, and now look at Qs. They're not nowhere near the 50-day moving average. Okay, so they're weaker. Okay, but one thing I want to point out with confluence and why you have to look at different charts, right? Like if we're looking at the Qs here, okay, and we have this trend line that was broken, so that looks like okay, broke trend, right? Well, then if you don't look at futures, you're not going to know if maybe there's another trend line resistance, right? So I just want to give you an example of looking at futures, okay? And I'll show you in futures with the NASDAQ futures 24-hour chart trend line. Now I'll just show you confluence on different charts, why I do put levels on different charts. Give me one sec. Well, I'm going to pull this up for you guys. So check out this in the NASDAQ. You see that trend line? So this trend line, started here, hit here. Look at how it hit. Okay, it hit the day before and hit it again and sold off. I mean, literally, look how perfect that is. Obviously, there's a resistance level there, but I'm just saying it was something I had my eye on. Okay, and now look, we're getting support by the 9 daily EMA right here. We literally, in the futures, nipped it and we're finding support. Okay, so that's finding support here. All right, let's go back. I'm going to go back into the daily chart. Okay, and point out a couple things here. Okay, so now you see that trend line that came into the futures chart, which doesn't exist if you just look at the Qs. So it's just something that you always got to look at multiple things. Okay, that's what that should teach you. So let's look at that 10-year. Okay, so we pretty much had a nice move down yesterday. I mean, it pretty much opened here, closed, went all the way down to 3.9 and kind of held. So we're kind of moving sideways right now with the TNX. Okay, TNX right now is at 4.04 and it's up today, but it's still within yesterday's range. So we made a high 4.3 and we've been going down, right? So if we continue down, that's good for equities. If we start moving back up, break this trend line, that's bad for equities. Okay, and that good old dollar was down yesterday, but the dollar's up today. Okay, you can see right here the dollar's up today. So we broke this trend right there, boom, broke it. Now we're in a downtrend. Okay, if we start breaking this downtrend, that's bad for equities. Okay, bad for commodities. However, we're staying down here. Okay, there's a support level actually right here. I'm going to mark out right there. Okay, basically we hit it and now we're bouncing. So, and lastly we'll go with the VIX. You can see the VIX broke this support. Okay, really broke down yesterday. Okay, even with the recovery, not the recovery, the sell-off didn't really even pump the VIX back up higher. Interesting, right? And we're in a downtrend. Okay, right now we're currently at 27.49. All right, let's get into the futures so I can go over some levels. Okay, just give me a second here So I pull these up, and I might have to adjust it a little bit for everybody. So to see this, let's go here. Okay, let's look at what's going on. Okay, so you know this region is a high volume node that I talked about. The market should stop, and it did this day. Okay, then yesterday we just ripped through it, but then we went into this supply zone here, and we found sellers. Okay, so now we're back. Okay, now as I'm looking at this market right now, it's kind of caught a bid. All right, so a couple things let's note here. This is the most traded price of the week now, right here. Okay, that is 38.44. We need to hold that for any chance for us to get movement higher. Okay, that's a very important level. And check this out, that's the most traded price of yesterday, and it's the most traded price overnight. So this level is a beast. Okay, now what do we have here? We have weak lows in the ES. Okay, weak lows, they're exactly the same. That means it's weak hands in the market. Big institutions and banks don't trade on exact levels, they don't care about that. So we know weak hands have been long here. If we revisit this again, okay, we revisit yesterday's lows, which is also now overnight lows, we could get a pop down. Obviously, if we hit it again, bounce, then okay, it makes this lever even weaker if we come back. Okay. Okay. So price right now is at 38.43. We're right here. You can see we're right in the area of the most traded price of the week. No surprise. Okay. And this is yesterday's range. This is overnight. We're inside yesterday's range right now. Now we're moving around this most traded price, right? Um, so yeah, that's the important weak low. Okay, we really got to monitor that. Okay, we're inside yesterday. There's no gap. Okay, now let's look at this. Our composite volume profile here. We're building out that. You can see that volume like this, right? Now, in order for this to be complete, it's going to look something more like this. Okay, so the move is still to the upside because we're holding 38.20 and we're holding this most traded price of the week. Okay, that could all change if we start going lower and accepting lower, right? That could all change. So that's really what I'm looking at right now. Okay, kind of balanced overnight. Not telling us a lot, but there is definitely levels we got to pay attention to. Okay, now the Nasdaq is weaker. Meta is the culprit. Okay, so look at that. Let's look at that. Okay, let me position this so you guys can see it the best. All right, and I'm going to expand this. Okay, so let's look at this now. All right, so Nasdaq is gapping down, and we're at 114. Price is at that dot, so we're gapping down. Okay, it's weaker. Now, I want to explain this to not have confusion. There's two prices I track: if the most traded price of the weeks and the most traded price of the months. Okay, this is the 24-hour chart where it's like pretty much only for an hour a day. There's not a market, a profile. Okay, so for right now, the most traded price with all hours trading in the Nasdaq is 114.90. Okay, we are below that right now. Okay, the RTH most traded price is here. Okay, and that is 116.40. Okay, and I hope that doesn't confuse everybody. This is just 24 hours. That's why you see all trading, and then the other one is just RTH, similar to a SPY chart. Okay. Okay. So we're gapping down. Here's yesterday's range. Here's the lows. Here's the highs. Price is here. It's a small gap down. Okay. We have excess now. We came into this demand zone. That's that green bar when we popped out with that news. Okay. Most traded price of yesterday is right here. Very similar to the most traded price of the week in the 24-hour time zone and then extended hour trading. Okay. So we're under that. That's bearish for now. Okay. That's bearish. It doesn't look like the ES. So now the ES and the NQ are not in sync. Okay. They're not. You kind of want them to be in sync because they fight each other. So it makes trading a little harder. All right. See, the week, we don't have a week low like we do in the ES, in the NASDAQ. Okay. So remains to be seen because we open up at 9:30. So, we could be back in range here, you know. But again, it's kind of a balanced session. So what happened was shorts, we were down here, news came out, they got squeezed. Now these longs that came down from here, they're still okay. Okay, but we need to come back down through here to make them in pain. So that remains to be seen. Okay, let's look at that profile. Okay, more of a complete profile than the ES. We don't have the best excess at the top, but it's more complete. Okay, now see, we're keep bouncing back into range. We'll have to see. Okay, there's big levels that I have to talk about in the Nasdaq. Okay, that have been broken, and we're going to talk about that now. Okay, so let's go over to my hour charts. Very big levels. Okay, let me get that chart up for you. Let's go with the ES. Let's zoom in now. Okay, all right, let's look at some levels here. Okay, we have very, very important support on the ES, 38.31. Okay, 38.31. Let me get that right there. You can see support, 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 and then support. This level breaks. There's a demand zone here. Yeah, really. If this level breaks, obviously, I definitely think we're going to go to 38.21, which is another key support level because this is really you can consider this a bear bull line because once we broke this, we've been holding above it. If we drop below it, that's not good. That's going to tell us that okay, sellers might be more in control, and our next support level is 37.90. That's a big one. Okay, so those are the levels I'm going to be paying attention to as support. Okay, you can see there's a fresh supply zone here, and you can see we just came into it, and what happened? found selling. Okay. Now, key resistance 38.72 also lines up with this high volume node area that I talked about. Okay. I really want to see us, if we have some strength, come above it, hold it, and maybe potentially have a move to go higher. Okay, and that next level higher is 39.03. As far as patterns go, you could say this is a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder. And that 38.31 is the neckline. Okay, so if we come down and hit this, we could break. Now, what's important today is earnings. Apple and Amazon, after the bell, report earnings. Okay, so again, this market's been nuts this week. There's been movements, there's been volatility. So obviously, right after that bell is probably the most important earnings today is Apple and Amazon. So whatever they do, most likely the market will do. Okay, pay attention to that. Right now, the only other things I would mention is there's a big channel here. It's been acting as resistance up above here, and then there's been a little smaller channel that's been acting as 1, 2, 3. So I have my eye on those. Okay, as well as this uptrend line. But I don't see these coming into play today. I'm just making you aware of that. Okay. Let me zoom these in. Okay, so let's go back to the Nasdaq. Okay. Now Nasdaq, I'm going to show you this zoomed out just to show you guys. Here's that big level of supply zone. Started here, resistance, resistance, and yesterday it dipped its toe into the supply zone again and fell off. Also this trend line that I showed you in the futures. Okay, that's why we sold off. That's just a hard area, and that's resistance level is 117.13. Okay, we need to go break above that for this market to go higher. But these tech earnings that are keep coming up with Google and Meta and just not good. Okay, but Apple and Amazon can change all that today. So let's look at the key levels, because there's key levels in this Nasdaq that I spoke about yesterday that's been broken. Okay, so a key level that was not broken yesterday was this monster support level right here, was 114.38. Well, guess what? With Meta earnings, wham, wham, we broke through it and fell. Okay, but now look, catching a bid, hit this demand zone with news. We're catching a bid now. Okay, this level is important to act as resistance now, or maybe act as support again. This is such a key level. You can notice that this candle is fighting this level. Okay, right now this level is so key, because if you can see the candle right now, right off of it, if it holds, this could launch the Nasdaq. If it fails, this is the short to go back down to the lows. That's how key that level is. 114.38. It's a monster level. Okay. Okay. Next resistance, 115.13. You can see right here it's been resistant. Also supply zone here. Okay. Then we got 115.58. If we get above 115.58, we have clear sailing to the most traded price of the week in the RTH. and then we have this trend line to contend with. But if we can get here, hold it, break the trend line, we're going to test this 117.13, which is the key resistance level with this supply zone. That is the key for the market to go higher. Nasdaq needs to break 117.13. It needs to break it and hold it. Okay. You can see right now 114.38 is acting as resistance again. We could hold here until the open, and then it's going to be, what do we do? Go above it? Do we go below it? Right? It's very key. All right. Oh, wow. Sorry, crude just went bananas. Oh man, I missed that trade. That's killing me. Oh well, I can't do anything about that now. Okay. So that's the key to Nasdaq. All right. So I'm gonna go back to the ES so I can talk about and give you some of a game plan about today. Okay. Alrighty. So let's look at the obvious things that I talked about earlier. Okay. We have a weak low in the ES, the exact overnight low in the RTH low. Okay. This is very key. Okay. This is very key. So we have the most traded price of the week and yesterday at 38.44. And it's the most traded price of the overnight. Okay. A lot of people has transacted at 38.44. Right now we're above it, right? So that would mean that everybody below it is long. So if we hold above it and off the open, maybe we get a little push. This actually is a 50 moving average. Maybe we get a little push up to this supply, and then if we come back down, okay, and this is the scenario, okay, we come to this level and we can't really break it, we're gonna probably bounce off of it, okay. However, if we do happen to boop, because it's volatile off the open, come below it, come up, revisit this, okay, what I believe will happen is we're gonna break this low, pop down into this demand zone, and that's the decision, because this 38.21 is a pivotal level. Even if we break this demand zone, I'm not saying we do, but let's just say we come down to it, that's a bounce point. Really weak, we go down. Okay. That's how pivotal the levels I'm talking about are. Okay. So this week low, yesterday's low, 38.34. Okay. This level with volume, and this is where I'm going to be very clear for the trade. The trade could give you maybe like 10 handles, 13 handles, 14 points in the ES. It's going to be like a poof move. And then we could launch off this level. If the market's weaker, we don't, but I'm just saying. I just wanted to show you that, okay? That's how key this week low is, and then 38.21 are. Just want to point that out. Okay, let's talk about a bullish scenario. Now, bullish would be we open, we come down to this 38.44. We can't seem to break it. We can't seem to break it. We move up into this supply zone. Maybe even bounce down to the 50-day moving average. Now we go back to this 38.72. Okay. And if we can, balance here, hold value, we have a good chance of pushing up to yesterday's highs. Okay. And then, one or two things. We can push up to the highs, pop, hit 38903, you're still in the supply zone. We maybe can come back down and bounce off, or hold 3903 and we rock it. The rocket, I'm not sure of because Apple and Amazon report after the bell today. Okay. Now, the third scenario is always in the cards, okay, is balance. Okay, right now, there's nothing for me to read to go, ooh, this is going to happen, guys. Because right now, we're inside yesterday's session. We're in the middle of the overnight session, okay? There's not a lot of people to hurt right now, but I've talked to you about the short under here, okay? So now, what could happen is just basically this. We go up to yesterday's highs, maybe tag 3903, we come back down and balance. This is because of Apple and Amazon. We come down to 30 to the lows, break these lows, but then hold 38.20. We go back and we balance. Very highly likely to happen. I got to give you all the scenarios, right? I don't have any stake in any scenario, but I'm prepared for each one, right? That's why I do scenarios. I don't have a bias. I let the market I let the market tell me what I'm going to do. I don't care if any scenario works. I'm ready for all of them. Okay, that's how I look at it. All right, let's go to the Nasdaq. All right, and let's go for the bear case first. I'll give you the bear case first. I'm just gonna get the Nasdaq chart up here so I can be better prepared. I don't know why this is not giving me. Just give me 1 sec, guys. I apologize. I'm just trying to. It's not letting me. All right, never mind. I knew the key levels anyway. It doesn't matter. All right. So in the Nasdaq, okay, key level right here, 114.38. We're battling on it right now. Price is right there. Okay. So now technically we're not gapping. We're in yesterday's range. Okay. And we're kind of we're in the midpoint of the range. That doesn't give a lot of clues for right now. Okay. Most traded price of the week, 24-hour, 114.90. Okay, these are all things we have to be paying attention to. Most traded price of yesterday is right here. Now, this is the key. Okay, guys, it's a little different in the Nasdaq. So, what we can see is this: if we open and we can't get above 114.90 and we can't get above it, and we revisit 114.38 and we dip below it and come back, that's a short. And we're going back down to the overnight lows. And this yellow line right here is the 9 EMA on the daily. And this box is a naked VPOC from the past, which just means the most traded price of a day that has not been tagged. Okay, so there's a confluence there. Also, there's a demand zone there. So there's a lot of confluence. Okay, that's one. All right, and then we could bounce off of it, or we break it, go to 113.20, and can we go lower? I don't know. Possible, but that's more of a bearish play today. Okay, now here's the difference. Remember, I told you in the ES a short could be in the cards. Well, I'm going to show you a long that could be in the cards with the Nasdaq. Okay, because this is still that key level, 114.38. So if we hold, say we open, okay, now this is the difference. I'm going to explain this to you. Most traded price of the week, most traded price of yesterday, and there's a supply zone here. Okay, everybody from here is short. This is all shorts in here. Now, I hope you know where I'm going with this. Okay, so this is our line right here for the Nasdaq. If we can hold 114.38, we push up, we battle this most traded price of the week and yesterday, and we pop it above it, hold it. We're gonna bust out. We're squeezing the shorts from yesterday and overnight. Okay, they're all gonna be underwater. That's the move. Okay, and we could hit this 115.58, and go right to here. The most traded price of the week in the RTH session is 116.40, and then do we revisit 17, yesterday's highs, and really see if we can hit this level and make a move up there? We might not. We might fall back. Okay, that's bull and bear right there. Okay, now what's the other scenario? Open up, squeeze the shorts, come up to here, and fall back, and we balance, right? Could even come up to the highs and we come back and we balance. Come down here, pop below it, maybe even tag 1320, come right back and balance. Okay? But just keep those levels that I'm telling you guys about in your mind. Okay? In your mind, okay? ES now is is right at the 50 in the futures market, okay? So this is right almost in the middle of yesterday's session, okay? Nasdaq still battle on that level. See, now we're falling back a little bit. Okay? Key level above, yes. Key level below, yes. Weak low. Now look, these are all longs from here. Whoop. Think about if we come back down through here, right? There we go. Bam. Okay? That's how I'm going to be looking at it, guys. Hopefully this helps some of you guys out. This is how I look at the markets. Okay? I'm a scenario based guy. I have no clue what will happen. I'll tell you, be the first one to tell you that. I don't have a clue, nor do I care. I'm just going to trade what I see. Okay? So, I wish everybody good luck. Give me a like. All right? Subscribe if you haven't already. And I wish everybody good luck. Stay green. Hopefully you have green days today. I will be on tomorrow, and we'll probably review what's going on with Apple and Amazon. So, all right. I'll see you guys tomorrow.